every time I do a project, I feel like I am bothering people and saying, oh, like, can you waste some Saturdays with me? And I try, therefore, to reduce the amount of time that we actually spend on set, which is why we do some crazy things like a 7-page script in 3.5 hours, because I just do not want to force people to take that much time. I don't want them to have to take time out of their lives to come help me do something. I guess I feel inadequate when I do that. And as an independent filmmaker and somebody who's always just made movies on my own or with a couple of my friends who I know I can bother because they actually like hanging out with me, it's been a weird shift to be like, well, maybe other people want to be my friend or are willing to come have fun too.
So there's a progression from Luke by himself to maybe some friends to maybe some more friends who might know a little bit more about stuff to, okay, there's a few of us who know some stuff about film who are interested in this, who are going after it, and we're all doing this together. And now we're getting to a place where what I'm excited about and what I'm pushing for, and I think Luke is daunted by, but also excited about, is getting a lot more people involved in the crew.
My past methods of costuming have been to say, what clothes do you have? Let's put those on, see what one works the best, and then go, yes, we're going to wear that one, and then there we go, we're done. We've costumed for this movie. This film, it looks like we're actually going to go to thrift stores and cut stuff up and make it look the way that we want and do stuff. And I'm really excited about what Ali is doing because the thing she has already talked about has blown my mind, and it's awesome. And that has got me excited about the potential for what other people could bring in other aspects of the film and other roles.
People are the greatest assets in any of filmmaking ever, okay? Screw the tech, take care of yourself, all right? So bringing people on the first part can seem like crap. So many more people to feed. So many more people involved. How are you going to get room for all this? So many logistics. You know what you do when you're worried about logistics? You find a person who's good at logistics and actually likes logistics and likes you and likes your movies. If you don't have any, find some. And you ask them, hey, would you mind taking on some of these things you're really good at and even like to do? It's a process of inviting people into doing something they're good at, giving them opportunities. It's a wonderful process. And if you're running your set well, you're doing it in such a way that it's relational based. You're having a good time. You become something of a family. And that's a beautiful, wonderful thing. It's a community based thing.
Jonathan has said, but see, Luke, remember, everybody actually has fun working on your films. So you're not actually inconveniencing anyone if you are just inviting them over to come have fun with you. Like if you're like, hey, just come hang out, let's do rehearsals, practice our lines, figure out this movie, then you're not actually bothering them. You're actually letting them come over and have fun and hang out. And I was like, well, I like helping people have fun and hang out, so I guess I'm okay with that. But this has been a major shift in my thinking.
So I'm excited. We're going to get some more people in, and we're going to have more people than we've ever had before, period. Like, it's already going to be that way. We've got some producers who are going to be handling some logistical stuff and locking down locations, some of that stuff.
I've asked Jess if she'd be willing to do some of my, set design and kind of figuring out that stuff.
Every set is constructed, whether it's a real location or not. There are people spending time and effort creating the environment to be significant and or intentional and good. And we're going to have that this time around, at least to some degree.
And the next person that we'd love to find, personally, would be an audio person, because I do not like audio. I'm not good at audio. And to bring in somebody who has a passion for that, who actually like builds soundscapes and stuff, I think would just blow the socks off of this next production. So that's the next big role that I'm hoping that we can find somebody to fill. And I think that would be really, really cool.
And it's their craft. It's the thing they love, and they're good at it. And all Luke and others and Brittany and I have to do is just show up and say, yeah, that's good, or maybe try something different. Just give them a little direction. Point them in the right place. Give them some resources. Take care of them. That's the other thing. That's the other thing about all this. You're bringing people on, you're the one asking. If you're asking them to do it for free, at the very least, give them food and give them the supplies they need to get things done.
Do I want to say anything else about bringing people in and bothering them? No?
It's an opportunity. That's the way I've been selling it, and I really believe it. A lot of these people are getting a chance to participate in something that not only lets them to have a good community and relationships and have a good time, a fun time on set, but it's also a chance for some of these people to stretch their creative muscles, things they want to do or have been wanting to do. That's part of the reason I'm here. I mean, I am going towards a place where I want to direct, I should say, write and direct my own films here. I've done it before, but taking a break from that and being a part of it and being in a very different creative muscle flexing area is a lot of fun. And being with good people and enjoying that time together is very, very valuable. And knowing that, it's easy to sell it to others. And you start creating this kind of army of sorts. You start creating this creative army of people who are really getting things done. And again, you're getting things done. You don't need to bloat your set. You don't need to get too many people. But when you start realizing you have these needs, you start looking. That's the thing. You look through your needs. Like, I need this, and this. In a perfect world, I'd have this too. And you start realizing I just pull people in, and then all of a sudden your film might be that much better. That's worth the try. Period. It's worth a try. At the very worst, knowing Luke, knowing myself, knowing how we're going to run a set, it's going to be a good time. We don't abuse people. We don't want to abuse people. We take care of them. We love them. We want to create a community. And knowing that, at the very least, even if the film ends up sucking or, hopefully not, but somehow doesn't get made, people will still spend time together and will have built something relationally. And that's valuable. And that lasts a lot longer than any of these other things do.
We have started trying to cast and figuring that piece out. Initially, I had a couple friends in mind that I thought they're going to be perfect. And I approached them, gave them the script. They read it and they said, no, this isn't a good fit for us. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And then the rest of that afternoon, I was totally depressed because I was like, there's no one. I don't know anyone else who could possibly do this. And one of my friends happened to come over that afternoon, and she was like, oh, you're working on a film? Hey, tell me about it. And then as we went going, she was like, so, maybe I could be part of it. And I was like, oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, let's look at that. Let's think about that. And so that opened up the door again to be like, oh, there are other people in the world. Which, it's obvious, but I don't know. I sometimes miss the obvious. I just don't see it. From there, I actually started thinking then, okay, well, who else is out there? And okay, if she was this character, then who else could I bring in to be the other characters that would fit within the world and make that work? Which ultimately led us to our first and second screen test. And I haven't really done screen tests before because I've never needed to. It's like, well, you're my one friend whom I've asked and has agreed to be part of this project, so you're going to be that character. But this time, because of the character interplay and how everybody needs to fit and mesh and have chemistry with each other in different ways that they interact, I was like, I can't imagine in my head how these different characters are going to play out and who's going to be the best for what. And so I brought people in and we sat down and we tried out the lines with different people. I just had them swap places and swap roles and try different things. And now I'm in the process of trying to cut that together and just relook at the footage from a footage standpoint as it played on camera, who's going to be the best person for each of these roles and what's actually going to work well to tell the story better because of the different actors that I have. And the really awesome part is, now I have even more people that I could call upon to do different roles. And it's like, okay, so I'm not going to cast you in this particular role, but would you be willing to do that role? And so going to be able to talk that through once I figured out who should play what in my mind, then I'll be able to start bringing that up and moving forward. Bringing on more people and actually having options is terrifying. It is totally terrifying for me to even know, like, how am I going to be able to move people forward and choose the roles and all that. So that's coming up. That's a hard part that's going to have to happen, and I'm going to have to grow through it. Painful. And hopefully all of my friends still love me after this, because friends, I love you a lot. So yeah, we'll see how this goes.